So almost every Magic player knows the original 5 Moxen: Pearl, Sapphire, Jet, Ruby, and Emerald. And over the years there have been new Moxes that replicate the abilities of the original, yet all of these Moxes that are legal in Modern are very fair and have heavy restrictions. Yet this wasn't always the case. Meet Mox Opal. This Mox is unique since it was causing problems the entire time it was legal, and Wizards of the Coast waited 9 years to ban this card. So let's learn why this happened and why it was so good. In the beginning, this Mox made its way into Affinity decks since this card was an amazing mana accelerator and counted towards your artifact count, and because of zero drops like Memnite and Ornithopter, the Mox could easily be turned on by turn 1, making it even better than a regular Mox, disregarding the legendary clause. The Mox being able to tap for every color also helped Affinity decks run many different colors, giving their sideboard a lot of utility for the metagame over the years. And if this card just stayed in Affinity and did its thing, then I doubt the card would be banned. Yet it was one of the reasons why many broken decks took off, those being Clark Clan Ironworks, Urza Oko decks, and some less powerful decks like Lantern Control, Cheerios, and Hardened Scales. Let's start with Clark Clan Ironwork decks, or KCI. The goal of this deck was to get out a ridiculously complex combo that would win the game, because you don't have an hour for me to rant on this combo. You basically need Clark Clan Ironworks, Scrop Trawler, Mirror Retriever, and 2 artifacts with less than 2 CMC to win the game, and if you are curious, a guide for the combo will be linked in a pinned comment. And this deck did really well and basically ran over the Modern format, and the card that really helped this deck's success was Mox Opal. Mox Opal was able to help the deck by ramping out the combo pieces much sooner, and was a key part of the combo. Wizards of the Coast was left with 2 choices, either to ban Mox Opal or KCI, and they decided to ban KCI in early 2019. This was to completely get rid of the deck and keep Affinity players happy. Yet over the years, and even before KCI, Mox Opal was in a variety of decks like Lantern Control, a deck with the #1 goal of taking away what makes Magic fun, or Hardened Scales, which was an artifact-heavy deck with the goal of making a million counters. It also saw play in Cheerios, whose goal is to have a higher storm count than Storm itself. Mox Opal was the bread and butter for these decks, and I won't say these decks were broken because of Mox Opal, but their success was greatly hinged on Mox Opal staying in the format. Yet this Mox didn't stop at Affinity, KCI, and all those other decks. Welcome to Oko, thief of any hope of victory. This card was one of the cards supporting Oko Urza decks, allowing the deck to get out its broken cards way too early. This deck also needed a quick ban, and Wizards of the Coast was finally fed up with Mox Opal shenanigans at this point, and got rid of both the Mox and the Oko. But Mox Opal's disappearance was not well received. Many people wanted Mox Opal to stay for Affinity, since yeah, while it is really good in Affinity, that's Affinity. You make it or break it in the early game, and taking away the Mox took away what many people loved about Affinity. It also didn't help that some people paid the hefty price of $100 for a single copy. Yet I have a comparison I would like to make with Mox Opal and Faithless Looting. Both of these cards filled into broken decks, but had their own decks that made them fan favorites. Many people didn't want to see Faithless Looting go for the sake of Mardu Pyromancer, but Faithless Looting had to, and so did Mox Opal. Mox Opal was just able to grant large amounts of advantage to artifact decks, setting them up a turn early, and while there are valid arguments to leave the Mox in the format, which let it stay for so long, in the end, I think it all boils down to Mox Opal is a Mox, and at one point or another in the future, if this card isn't modern, the format will revolve around it, and it's just better to have this card out of the way. This Mox was able to transform many artifact decks from niche to broken, and yes, while it did hurt classic Affinity, the deck is still kicking, although not as good as it once was, and this card for the longest time desperately needed a ban. Now wait, before you click off this video, I'd like to say thank you for 5,000 subscribers. I'm doing a giveaway for hitting this goal, and what magic card would be better than a pesky monkey? If you've been a longer viewer on my other channel, Lord of Fish, you would know I have issues pronouncing Ragavan, so I'll be giving away a Ragavan for hitting 5,000 subscribers. All you need to do to have a chance of winning it is leave a comment, and I'll randomly heart one of those comments, and then you get the grand prize of a stupidly broken card. More instructions will be in the description, and really just thank you. My goal was to get this channel to 10k subs by the end of the year, but I've already made it past the halfway point in the first month. So yeah, thanks, and I'll see you next time.